guys? Ramon here, live from the Wholesale Sharks studio. I want to take this brief moment to welcome everybody to the show today. We have an amazing guest, Mr. Ricky Morgan himself. Let's give it up for Mr. Ricky Morgan, everyone.
What up, guys?
In the house. For those watching, the reason why this show exists is because when we started out, we got a lot of game from podcasts and all these different trainings and networking things. So now we're like, it's time for us to give back, right? Even if we could be out there selling houses instead and making a lot of money, we're like, let's take a brief moment to give back to the community, to inspire, to change lives. 'Cause at the end of the day, one episode that somebody watches could change somebody's life forever. Like, I know people that went to our event and quit their jobs and sold their restaurants and went all in on wholesaling and investments. And so words are very powerful.
I want to hear the ending of the
story. Did it work out?
Hopefully it worked out, right?
Dude, a lot of people don't know that, I went to your office right after I quit my job in June of 2019. So all the way,
dangerous to be your guest.
2019. We're going all the way back to 2019. We're in 2022 now.
My God.
And that was before I did any deals. And literally, dude, you were like, yo, use Manu to build your podio. Use David for cold calling. And I did all of that. And so I always thank you guys for all the help.
Ran with it. So
literally.
That's why we do it. That's why we do it. Somebody changed our lives. We're trying to change lives as well. So without further ado, we're going to get this thing going. I'd like to introduce our guest and our co-host, Rodrigo Martinez. You want to start off? Rodrigo is the COO of the company Wholesale Sharks and also
definitely
the resident real estate agent.
Definitely glad to have you guys here. It's always exciting to get this thing started. So I try to put the what's it called? Ramon's more of the artistic guy, and I just try to find the things that make sense and I'm like the teacher here. Don't do that, Ramon.
He likes to make sense.
I should make sense a little bit.
But then again, if things made sense, we wouldn't be here.
That is
from
true.
The beginning, because this doesn't make sense. Like, why would I go all in on this thing that I have no clue about anything about, right?
That's the biggest thing that I've seen here. Things that don't make sense usually make sense eventually. So just go and try it out and see what happens.
Right, for sure. Our other co-host, CC, thank you so much for being with us again.
Thank you for having me back. I will say the energy in the Wholesale Sharks office is lit, and if you get the invitation, do not pass it up.
Oh, appreciate that. And now to the man of the hour, Mr. Ricky Morgan. How the hell are you, brother?
Dude, so good, man. Just love being here. Love you guys. Love the whole office, the energy. Just seeing you guys grow, and that's what I love most about you guys, man. So you guys are the craziest mofos I ever met, but you guys make it happen though, man. You guys make it happen.
You know, when Annette's face is like this behind the scenes of the things that we're talking about, like, no. You shouldn't be talking about things like. I'm like, all right,
like yesterday, for example.
We might be onto something, right? Like, holy crap! Like,
you asked me to speak. You're like, yo, I'm having like a little meetup. Like, you want to talk? And I'm like, sure. Next thing I know, a month later, it's like production stage, 1,000 people.
Mariachi.
Right.
What the hell happened? That thing got crazy, right?
Yeah. But that's I think that's a big part of your guys' success. So I'm just love to feed off that energy, man.
I appreciate that, man. So let's start out, man. We know who you are. We know everything that you do. You're fucking amazing. You train people. You have a great podcast as well. I mean, you're just a very high quality caliber individual. You took everything and ran with it and made it your own and transitioned, evolved. But for the audience, who is Ricky Morgan? Can you give us a little bit of background?
Yeah.
Take it back as far as you can, as far as you like, and let's get this thing going.
Yeah, so I grew up in New Jersey, so I'm a Jersey boy, East Coast guys.
Right? Empire.
Jersey boys.
So I actually do most of my real estate out there where I grew up. So I guess probably the best spot to take it back to, like 2011, I was playing college golf. I'm a pretty good golfer.
Goddamn.
And
Shooter McGavin.
I was playing golf with this.
So you're pretty good.
Yeah. I'm pretty good.
I love that movie, Happy Gilmore.
I'm pretty good. Jesse Burrell, shout out to Jesse. He beat me on the course though.
Oh, really?
Last weekend.
Because you guys play tournaments though.
Yeah, he used to be like a pro. He was pretty good. We were having a good match.
You guys play pickleball?
Not pickleball yet, but
I have no clue what pickleball is.
It's like a.
But he called me the other day.
It's like small tennis.
He called me. He's like, hold on,
I definitely don't want to play anything.
Wrap up this game of pickleball.
It's like jumbo ping pong.
It's like jumbo ping pong or small tennis.
Pretty much, yeah.
Small
yeah,
tennis.
it's
okay,
yeah.
All right.
He's got a court like in his backyard, which is pretty Pretty cool.
Nice.
But yeah, so I was playing college golf with this guy Steve Kipnis at the time, and we were just some dumb college shitheads, probably smoking too much weed, getting in trouble,
The dream.
Right. Graduated in 2015 from college with a business degree, and I'm like, okay, I want to make money. I like business, but like I learned nothing in college, so I had no idea where I wanted to go. I was just applying for jobs in New York City, actually.
Oh wow.
So I thought I was like, yeah, I'm gonna like go to New York, Wall Street, like crush it.
Take over.
And then I didn't get any job offers in New York, but a company I applied for, Yelp, like the food app where you find places and people write bad things about restaurants. And good things, but mostly bad. So I got a job there in July of 2015, and the offer was in Phoenix. So I never been to Phoenix, but I liked golf, I liked warm weather, and I was like done with New Jersey. So I just picked up 2 suitcases, moved out here.
Wow, just like that.
Just like that, dude.
You're brave.
I knew no one out here, never been here, but I was like, I think you had this attitude about a lot of things. Like, what's the worst thing that could happen? I have an experience. A few months later, I moved back to New Jersey.
It's a dangerous mindset.
It is.
What's the worst that could happen? I fail, I write a book, I become rich because of my horrible story, and then we're back here.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But it's you don't want to go too crazy with it, but it's a good attitude a lot of people don't have, and I think that's why a lot of people don't like maybe do the things they want to do.
The Wolf of Wall Street. He went crazy nuts. It all went to shit. He wrote a fucking book, a movie, and now he's back.
And now he's back podcasting. Doing, I think you got to pay like $13,000 to be on his podcast.
Yeah, it's insane.
From what I saw, but he's doing well. So I worked that corporate job for 4 years. I was doing pretty well. It was sales, so I was like cold calling business owners, trying to sell them little ad boxes, PPC ads on Yelp. So it was a hard job because people get calls all the time. Business owners are busy people, and they already hate Yelp because someone writes a bad review, you suck, and we won't take it down. So but it taught me a lot. It taught me sales, it taught me rejection, making 80 calls a day to get maybe one appointment. So I was climbing the ladder there, moved into management, was starting to make pretty good money, like corporate money, like $100,000 a year. I'm like, okay, like hit the $100,000 mark, like I'm the shit, going to Scottsdale, like popping some bottles, $30,000 millionaire,
And you're like 25 at this time.
Yeah, I'm like 25.
Yeah.
I'm 29 now, so yeah, probably like 25. So it was good, but I realized I got a couple promotions there, and then my manager was talking to me, and she's like, well, where do you see yourself next? And I was like, I don't want your job. You seem like you just get yelled at all the time. I looked at
babysitter job.
Right. I kept looking up, and I was like, dude, I don't want to climb this ladder. And I'm not really good at like being a yes man. Like if I think something's bullshit, like I'm gonna just say it.
Call it out.
So I realized that attitude wasn't gonna like serve me too well in like a corporate situation. So, what was this? 2017. So I'm working there a few years. I'm like, okay, I gotta figure out my plan out of this corporate job. So I literally go on Google. I shit you not. I saw an ad for Pejmi. He's like the car guy that like is like car hacking and watch trading. Secret Academy, I think it was called. It's like entrepreneurs, and it was like kind of before like YouTube and all this stuff blew up and social as much. So I saw an ad and it was like entrepreneurs. So I just dove into like how do people make money? What do wealthy people do? And all roads were kind of leading to real estate. Read like Rich Dad Poor Dad, started listening to like Grant Cardone, and then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna be a real estate investor. Like let's do it.
That's the way.
So I educated myself for about a year and a half. Then finally I was like, you know what? I'm quitting this corporate job. Luckily at the time too, like I was nervous about quitting, right? Because it's $100,000 salary job. And I think this is where a lot of people, they run into this situation. They're like, dude, I want to quit, but like I got this good job, and I was trying to kind of have that job and do real estate, but that didn't really work out too well because like, the job was pretty taxing as far as like making calls all day. When I got off, I didn't really want to like go hunt for more deals with real estate. So pretty much after that I was like, fuck it, I'm quitting. June 2019, I was working next to my ex-girlfriend in my office. So like that was like the best blessing I could have because like my seat got moved, and then it was like this super awkward situation. I was like, all right, this is like my sign. You know,
It's a sign.
I'll get the hell out of here.
Does it get any more awkward than this?
So yeah, quit that. Went to an all-in Momentum. You know, Carlos and Sal's and those guys went to an event. Didn't do a deal for 6 months. Finally did my first deal in September of 2019 with Templeton. Who funny, like you just had him on the show. I did my first assignment through Templeton, made $5,000, and then bringing it back to my buddy Steve, I golfed with in college. He was building up a rental portfolio in New Jersey. He wanted to start flipping houses though, leave his job. So he had kind of transaction, you know, doing deals, construction. I had sales and marketing experience. So we thought it was a good partnership just with kind of our different skill sets. So we partnered up, started doing wholesale deals when we first started out. Finally, after, you know, doing a lot of good wholesale deals, we transitioned into like, oh shit, we have private money. We had investors come to us. They're like, hey, we have some money on the sidelines. Can you buy houses with it? We're like, sure.
So for that first deal that you did, that took you 6 months. How did that happen? Like, where did it come from? What type of marketing did you do for that?
That deal was actually, it was in Old Town Scottsdale, and I randomly ran Facebook ads. Like, it was like a $500 campaign. And I actually went to this guy's house to an appointment. Like,
did he hit you up like, hey, I got some?
Yeah. He's like, I got this house. I was like, oh, come through. And I like come through with like a contract. I like go there. I had no idea what I was doing. Right. So he ended up saying he had like a better offer. But then he called me back about a month later and was like, hey, those guys backed out. I'm already moving. Like I need to close. So I didn't really know what to do. But at the time I was following like Templeton and, you know, I talked to him a couple times. So I was like, yo, Temp, can you come? So
help me with this.
Yeah. So we both went to that appointment. It was funny. Devin Burr, you know, like Mr. Burr, he actually was doing a ride along with Templeton that day. So that was like the first day that me and Devin met, and we became like friends then too, which is kind of, it's crazy how like all this stuff.
It's all linked.
Right. It's all linked. And then Templeton, like he contracted the deal. I think he wholesaled it, made like $5,000. I made $5,000. And, but you know, that first deal is like really that like proof of like, all right.
Proof of concept.
Yeah.
Like, money appeared out of thin air.
Right. Created money from nothing off of some Facebook ad. So
boom.
Yeah, dude. That's how it started. And yeah, we just kind of started then transitioning to flipping instead of wholesaling because my partner, he likes being in houses. He likes doing construction. He's not too much about like the internet business. So we decided to maximize profits that way. So this past year we did like 20 deals, but we averaged 75,000 in profit per deal.
Holy shit.
That's
so
amazing.
big spreads, low volume, I guess. But that kind of.
So then are you doing more luxury style properties?
No, we're just buying deep. We go direct to sellers, so we don't really buy too many deals from like other wholesalers and stuff. We're going right to the seller. And you know, like a typical deal we'll pick up for like $100,000, put 50 into it, sell for like 300.
Wow.
You know.
And this is in Jersey?
Yeah.
Boom. So you found your pocket, your niche, your place, and now you're going after it.
Yeah, people think like New Jersey's like why would you want to do deals there? It's a good flipping market. It's decent for rentals in certain spots if property tax is low, but a lot of people get in financial distress because on these like $300,000 houses, the property tax is like $8,000. So then like just holding a house like that, or if you can't pay that tax, a lot of people get in bad situations, and like a vacant property is like a problem. Due to property tax if nothing's going on with it.
There's more pain.
Right, so there's more pain, probably a little less opportunities as far as like doing a bunch of deals because we got to kind of stay within like an hour radius for him to go to the properties and walk them. And they're old houses and it's a little bit more of a pain in the ass to flip houses out there, I think, compared to here. But, you know, good profits.
So fix and flipping, so wholesaling is perfect for fix and flippers, right? Because if somebody's already getting their deals from wholesalers, they learned how to hunt for themselves. All of a sudden, they're getting their own projects, and you know now they're skipping that whole middleman situation.
Well, I always say too, it's hard to fuck up a flip if you buy it for pennies on the dollar, right? Like you buy a deal deep enough.
Yeah,
the rehab, so much room for the rehab could go wrong. It could sell for a little less than you thought, and like instead of making $100,000, you make 65, and everything went wrong. So I always recommend
that margin for error. You have that, which is the middleman cost.
Exactly. So you cut that out, and then you're kind of keeping both those. You're just ending up buying a lot safer deals. And I always recommend that to anyone who's brand new starting out. It's hard to find those deals, but if you're buying something super skinny and you're trying to fix and flip it, the numbers can get really tight
very quickly.
Yeah.
Especially with the holding costs and everything. So what are your main marketing strategies right now? I know you started with that Facebook stuff in the beginning. What's working for you right now? Because everybody's asking, what do you do? Do you cold call? Do you what is it? Which one is it? So I'm like, whichever one you want to pick one.
Dude, that's why I say it's about being consistent and doing whatever it is well. We've transitioned into mostly direct mail, so we spend about $15,000 a month on direct mail.
So that really works. And do you think it's because of the market? Because I know some people have tried it here and they're like, it didn't work.
So in my experience in Phoenix, going direct to seller marketing, I just think it's a huge volume game. Yeah. You have to send out, I think 30,000 mailers a month here to get maybe a deal or two.
Yeah. And you're staying within a very small radius,
right? Like an hour radius.
You are just bombarding those people constantly, whereas the valley is very huge and spread out and wide. So a lot of people have said, I'm not getting any results, but they're hitting, East Mesa all the way to Glendale. So they're not hitting any one particular, they're not infiltrating one in particular space, which you guys are, right?
You have to farm a certain zip code and stick to it.
Yeah. And it's not, where we're at in South Jersey, there's not that many guys with legit operations doing it. A lot of the fix and flippers are, they have a day job and they flip 2 houses a year, might make 50, 60K off each, and they're happy. But you don't see as many professional investors the way it's set up here. Yeah. So I think we do have we have competition, but it's a little less. So the marketing dollars go a little further there.
Mm-hmm. All right, so everybody in Arizona, go to Jersey and leave us.
Dude, go to Jersey, do all the marketing you want, and we'll transaction fund it and be the buyers. So
there you go.
So yeah, it's a good market over there, but so mostly direct mail, and we just set up $3,000 on PPC. Our website organically ranks pretty high, SEO wise. You type in Sell My House Fast New Jersey, you'll see Savannah Properties, which is our business, show up pretty high. Wow. Top 3 for most state searches. Yeah. So that brings us some business.
Did you use a company for that, or?
No, I built that kind of in house. I found I have a website person Nitty, I found off Upwork years ago, but I kind of figured a lot of that stuff kind of just building from the ground up.
YouTube.
Just YouTube. It's crazy, man. If you're resourceful, you could kind of figure all this shit out. Yeah. It's not that complicated, but so that's our main marketing. We transitioned away from we were doing a lot of data stuff, cold calling, texting, RVMs. Yeah. But what I found was our operation's small. It's just me and my business partner, Steve. We have no employees, no office.
Steve's cool as hell.
Yeah, dude. Steve's a Russian Jewish guy.
Very entertaining.
Dude, yeah, he's just a Russian Jewish guy, super old school. Just trying to buy houses. He don't give a fuck about
I love
meditation or this or he's just nah, man. We in the East Coast, we just buying houses.
I love seeing the episodes where he's walking properties and everything, all
right. Awesome. Yeah, we bought this for 100 and put 50 and sold it for 300. He's so monotone, but it's good, man. So we transitioned away from data marketing because what I've found is those types of leads, they're cheaper to generate. So when you're on a small budget, kind of makes sense. Yeah. But they're a lot more to kind of manage and get across the line. Way more touch-up points, way more tire kicker sellers. Compare mail, PPC, those are a little more teed up. Yeah. So for me to manage leads, it's more effective for us to kind of pay for the more expensive marketing to get more qualified leads. But we just work off a spreadsheet, man. We have 10 houses on a spreadsheet. I make a few calls a day, answer some mail calls. Yeah. It's not it's pretty simple to get to $1 million flipping business. Yeah. But to get to a $3 million flipping business becomes
But of course it took some time. It's not you just I'm doing this now, right? You've been going at this for years back since we first met you.
Right.
You didn't just go and now it's working, guys. Everybody can do this.
That's what people don't see.
You've been walking for years through this journey. I'm sure you tried other things that didn't work and you wasted money on everything. You don't just stumble onto mailers.
No, and there's no magic. We've gotten deals. We've gotten cold call deals, text deals, ringless voicemail deals, referral deals, driving for dollars deal. We've bandit sign deals. We've tried it all and we've gotten deals from everything. Yeah. So Stop looking for like a secret
Which one
marketing
is it?
strategy, dude.
Because somebody might be after this episode, they might go and say, "Oh, I'm gonna do mailers now because it works for him."
Right.
And then nothing might happen.
Yeah.
We send thousands and thousands of mailers and nothing happened.
Was there like a moment
Right.
where, let's say, when you quit your job, and then you're trying to do the wholesale stuff and the fix and flip game? Was there a moment where you said, no business come in, or were you living off of a lot of people don't really spend that much money because they want to invest in their company?
Right.
So were you looking at your finances as well?
Oh, for sure.
I can't spend all this stuff, or is that what helped you kept going? You
Yeah.
know, because once your financials are down, that's when you start panicking.
You start panicking like,
You're very well with your finances, where you're like, hey, I'm gonna live off of ramen and
Dude,
noodles or
literally, it was ramen and tuna fish for
Ramen's
like 3
delicious.
years.
Yeah.
Dude,
Ramen's
it's really not
delicious.
that bad, man.
I'll take a maruchan all day.
Because I know
Tapatio, lemon, salt,
Yeah, that's the
and
guy.
a tiny little shrimp on the side.
I know if someone's trying to start up the wholesale game and they're like on my budget for eating, I mean, they'll go broke like in
Well,
1
the
month.
thing is, some people like to live like El Chapo, on social media with like a very low income. So is
Right.
that some advice that you give people? Like,
Yeah. So I think you have to create some type of a runway.
Yeah.
So like I've realized 2017, right? I'm like, I got to get the fuck out of Yelp and do this thing.
Yeah.
So that day, I stopped going to Scottsdale, spending money on bottle service. I stopped just wasting money on bullshit. I literally, like, for 2 years, like, none of my friends really saw me. I read like 65 books.
Were you
in
on
2018.
Were you on Instagram watching their pages with like a tear coming down your eye? Just
Yeah, no,
not
like
hiding.
I was excited about the vision. I saw like like what I'm setting up for 5 years. Like
Yeah.
they could have their fun now.
the
like
vision. You had the vision. You knew
Yeah.
where you were gonna be, and you're like, this is just part of that vision.
Right.
And
So-
now are all those people still in the same
Yeah.
level they were at 5 years ago?
I mean, yeah,
Doing the
like
same
they're watching
things
you,
they
like-
were doing, and
You know
now
what,
they're
though?
watching you thinking, I wish I would have started when you did.
I think some people have that, but at the same time, I think there's a place like some people don't have that driving ambition that like
Yeah.
it's like a gift and a curse, right? Because
Mhm.
some people they're still at the Yelp job and it wasn't a bad
And they
job.
love it.
They
They
love
love
it. It's
leaving and
happy.
not having stress when they go home
Like
and
it's the
the
weekend.
guarantee
Yeah.
paycheck.
Right. So if you're okay with that and you have a happy life,
Yeah.
like entrepreneur is not for everyone. It's glamorized these days, but like,
Yeah.
I had to, I saved up $30,000 to leave Yelp. So
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just like,
You did it the right way.
right. But then September comes. I leave in June. September comes. I spend money on marketing, different things. I'm down to like $3,000. And I'm like eating ramen and shit at the time, and
Wow.
I'm just like grinding on a
Dang,
Mojo
for-
dialer.
Damn.
And in January, when I'm down to a few $1,000, we closed a deal we made like 80,000 on.
God
So
damn.
I put like
Thank you,
40,000 in
God.
my bank.
That was the
And that was like the day where like when that hit my bank account, I was like, I don't have to find a job again. Like,
Thank
you
you,
know,
Lord.
I think
This
it's
will
not
last
fair.
me another
that
year.
was a Hail Mary. That was a Hail Mary.
And
Yeah.
isn't it weird how that's usually how it happens? Like,
Right.
it's when you're almost down, you're about to quit, you're about to give up. It's
Yeah.
like something happens and you're like, oh, I guess we're.
That's why like
we're still here.
don't take too long to quit and go chase it. But at the same time, like I read 60 books. I had saved up 30 grand. Like I was sending out marketing before I quit. So I kind of put myself at least in a position to increase my odds of winning.
You set yourself up for success.
Yeah,
that-
some
that's
people
a
get
great blueprint.
just mad and they're like, all right, fucking, I'm doing it. But then like they
You're not
haven't
even ready.
Right. They're not ready to just have their income go to zero.
And I think it needs to be some sort of proof of concept too, because what made you believe, right? You have to
Yeah.
see a deal or see something that works for you to say, okay, this shit works, I'm going.
Yeah.
You have to see that proof of concept.
And I think my partner gave me a lot of that
you're
because
seeing it from him.
he was like what I thought, right? We were golfing, weed smoking shitheads, and then all of a sudden in a couple years he bought 20 rentals. He bird 20 rentals.
Damn.
So all of a sudden it was like law of attraction. He called me up one day and was like, yo, you're in Phoenix now, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, you know anything about real estate? This was like a day after I bought like Rich Dad Poor Dad. So it was like right when it was like law of attraction. I'm telling you, it was
fuck
like
yeah,
fucking
I
crazy.
just read.
Yeah, I'm like,
Poor
dude,
Dad,
I just
know
got,
everything.
and then we started, and I was like, oh, you're in real estate? He's like, yeah, I own like 20 rentals. I was like,
God,
you own
yeah.
20 houses? Like, how the hell did, how did
I'm
we,
trying to own one.
right, like, how'd you get
I'm
get
trying
there?
not to get kicked
So-
out of when I'm renting.
Right. So I think that really gave me initially like, okay, real estate, this is like a real thing. And then as far as like when it came to wholesaling, I know like going to like real estate disruptors meetups. I think
Yeah.
that's where I initially met you guys,
yeah.
and just seeing the people in that room and like
We're
just like
standing there like, we know nothing.
Right. Like I'm walking around like, hi, I'm on real estate. I like printed out business cards.
We're all giving each other
like,
business cards.
Right. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, I don't need no business card. Like, I don't even have I haven't had a business card in years now.
No, it's like we don't even use that crap anymore.
Yeah.
But Instagram's our business card. Here, go look at my shit.
Instagram is the new resume and the new business card. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like when I get like wholesalers calling me on the phone, like because they find our website, because I said we rank high, so we have a lot of wholesalers. Like, hi, are you a cash buyer? I'm like, yeah, bro. Like, I know you wholesale. I understand wholesaling. Go check out my Instagram. Like, I just send them there, so they know now. It's like, now they see like they're actually doing deals. It's like the best like proof of concept. Yeah. And kind of giving you kind of the authority to like, oh yeah, you should work with those guys.
You know, and you hit a lot of points there that really motivate people, because you know you're saying about your buddy who owns 20 houses, and let's say somebody's watching, thinking, oh shit, that's what I want. All of a sudden, you hit some nerves with some people like, damn it, that's what I want, and I'm not doing it. And you create that urgency for whoever's watching the show. And I think that's also a very important reason why we're doing this, because one thing that you say might create this wave across wherever it is this thing's being streamed, you know? Yeah. So that's just awesome to see that, you know, you're sharing all these different valuable things that you've been going through as well. So in terms of your life right now, I mean, congrats on the giant ass fucking house you bought. Like, god damn,
it's a nice yard, dude. That house like 2,400 square feet.
It's amazing.
I say it's like a mullet, man. It's like it's pretty like casual. It's like pretty casual up front. It's like a nice little like ranch, 2,400. But then like it's on like 0.6 acres, and like the resort's like
the backyard.
In the backyard. It's like
how did you feel when you were walking in and you're like, this is happening? Like,
it was kind of actually crazy. So I initially bought that house to do like a rental with it. Yeah. But then my landlord kicked me out like a week after I went under contract.
Well, because I'm moving over there.
And I brought like my girlfriend to the house, and like she kind of like liked it a lot too. She's like, oh my god, like, are you gonna keep this? I was like,
good looking mullet.
I'm like, I love the house. I would love to live here, but I like it more as a rental, so I'm gonna do that. But then once my landlord called me up, I was like, yo, you gotta be out in 60 days. I was like, all right, well, I got this house under contract, so I just turned it into, my primary. But awesome. It's a blessing, man. It's like
you bought it at a good time too.
Yeah, I think so. You know, I think it's the nicest backyard under $1 million. In the valley.
That thing's ridiculous.
You know,
it's amazing. So we're all getting invited to the pool party.
Dude, 100%.
Everybody in here. We're all going. Pool party. There you go. Yeah. And tell us a little bit about your podcast, man. Thank you so much for having us on, man. It was great. I love the setup.
Dude, our episode actually, it's like one of the best ones on performing ones. Yeah. We got like pretty good. We got like 30 comments on there, like 700 views on YouTube, which is like hard to do for a podcast.
I think that's what kind of inspired us to do something like this too, because we went to yours and we're like, should we do something like that? Because we weren't really doing anything like that at the time.
I remember talking to you. You're like, yeah, we've been thinking about it. I'm like, dude, it's not that like, you know, you get some shit
but we were like on the fence. But I think going to yours is what brought us down this road. So that's why I told Rodrigo, I'm like, we need to have Ricky on here, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for sending us down this path of time waste. I'm just kidding. We're not. No, it's really cool. It's really cool because you get all this value, even if it's not monetary. You get this value from knowing that you're helping somebody and influencing someone.
Dude, helping.
Getting comments from people. That podcast was amazing. Oh my god, this is my favorite one. And knowing that you're
what I love about it is like I think so we made Flip Lab just because I'm like a big believer of like brands, and like if you're in real estate, there's so many different ways to potentially monetize, a lot of different verticals. Like we're getting into like lending, transactional funding, whatever, courses, coaching, JV deals. Like there's all these different ways. You could own title companies, like all these different ways where if you have like an audience in real estate space, you can help a lot of people out, make a bunch of money. So I was like, yeah, let's start building the brand. And like a podcast is so cool too, because like guys like you, we've always been friends, but like sometimes, you don't get to spend time like this with people, and like 6 months go by. So I think it really solidifies that. And then you're providing value to other people, because now it's like, whatever, you guys could you reused videos from our podcast, and that's value to you guys, and like I'll do the same for this. So I think it makes a lot of sense to do that, and just networking. I've had like Carlos Reyes on, who I went to his event first, and like Ben Leibovich owns like syndicates like huge apartment complexes out here in Austin, Rutherford, and like all these different connections I've made through the podcast so far. Yeah. I just think it's fun, man, and it creates content because you could clip podcasts into like, you know, short videos, and that's how we've really been growing on like TikTok and stuff like that.
I think you hit the nail on the head. You know, you get to hang out with your buddies, because when you're an entrepreneur, any moment that you don't spend well, any moment that you waste, it's like that's a moment of production. And especially coming from the bottom when shit wasn't working, you know you can't waste time throughout your day, because right now you're here and shit starts going south. It's very easy for your little boat to move in the right or the wrong direction. So I think as business owners, we want to be as valuable as we can with our time. And a lot of times we can't take time to go to lunch. We can't take time to grab coffee because that's an hour away from the business. But if we can hang out like this, grab a coffee here, talk about things, educate, bring value to people out there, then we get to do both at the same time. We're hanging out, we're talking, we're bringing value. And, you know, that's part of being an entrepreneur. Is what I'm doing right now valuable? You know, like, am I growing?
Right.
Is somebody else growing? How is this affecting the
And I said,
universe?
this shit is like hard to like really put a number on it. Like when you make shit like this, and like warning to people, like if you're brand new, like don't focus on this shit. Like do deals.
Yeah,
do deals. Talk to sellers. Don't be on Instagram
Get the bag.
making some fucking reel. Like it doesn't, like that shit doesn't really matter. Like you need to be in this business.
Wait till you're not in like ready to die mode before you know, because a lot of times people start out, I'm gonna do a podcast. Motherfucker, they're gonna evict you next month. What do you mean podcast? Like,
no, you really see it though, you know. Sheesh. And like you said,
it took us a while.
They saw Ricky just getting on the scene, and oh, he's just started making videos. It's like, no, dude, I was in Ramon's office asking him how many cold callers I need and KPIs, and like,
and who are you using?
And like in the trenches of like, you know, on a mojo dollar for a year, you know, like. So don't skip that step. But I think once you get to a certain point, though, it's silly not to try to grow a brand or your.
But once you're not on that live or die mode.
Right.
So speaking of that, what is your ultimate goal with this?
I think like initial goal right now. So we're really focused on doing $1 million in profit in our flipping business, and we did that this year or like last year. So I was really pumped about that.
Congratulations!
Holy shit!
I know I haven't paid taxes yet, so I don't know. I don't know exactly.
The IRS doesn't listen to this. It's fine.
Okay. That was my next question.
So the way I look at it, and I don't know, might not be the right way, but the way I see things is focus on active income first. So like I bought my first house I ever bought was actually in 2018 before I started wholesaling and quit my job. I bought a rental in New Jersey, and it was cool. It was like $80,000, and I was renting for $1,500, making like $400 a month in cash flow. I was like, this is cool, but I had to put 25% down, which was like my life savings. You bought it
conventional.
And then a fucking AC breaks, and that's like 3 years of your passive.
3 years, and I'm like,
people don't see that.
Dude, this is going to take
you
you're
making 400, but your AC breaks, and there goes a fucking year.
Right, so I'm like, the only way this makes sense if I have like a lot. And with this model, it's going to take me over like a decade to even get to the point where maybe I could like quit my job. So I was like, I need to find something else. So I went to focusing on active income. I think if you could focus on making a lot of money, that's like step one. Learn how to make money. But then step two is like learning how to like become wealthy and keeping it. So
step two.
To your question, I think this year we're much more focused on rentals. So we want to buy like 500 rentals over the next few years. We're working on like a 29 single family house deal where I think we could buy for like $2 million. Burr all of our money out and have like 29 free houses. And that's what's cool too. It's like when you're brand new starting out, you know, you're not really sophisticated enough to be able to pull off deals like that. So you know, it's like the passive game will always be there, but learn how to get really good at finding deals. And the rest of real estate kind of becomes more simple. So
it sorts itself out.
So I'd like to get to like $50,000 a month in passive income, like through rental properties. And then I think at that point, like I'm like a creative person. I like brands. I like helping other people. It'd be cool to like, I don't know, just kind of even like Flip Lab. Like people are like, oh, like what do you want?
Great name, by the way.
Thank you. But like, you know, what do you want to do with it? Where do you want to monetize it? And like, we're like testing the waters with different things, but I don't really like those things could play out. I just think provide value, continue to like grow the brand, grow the vision. We're focusing more on lending this year too. So we do hard money loans, rental loans, transactional funding, which is becoming bigger.
Here in Arizona too?
Yeah, all 50 states. Yeah.
There you go.
So if you need money for an investment property, hit me up. But we'd like to get more on the lending side too.
If you need money for properties, let's make it clear. Because Templeton was saying, "Hey, I'm not gonna lend money for things like."
Investment properties only.
Got this idea, man.
Templeton. So he's working on it. Yeah, but I think one day though, I would like to transition into like Templeton. Like he's kind of figured out the money game for the most part. I haven't gotten to that point yet.
Yeah.
But it's okay. You know, I'm on my chapter.
You're on the journey. You're in the journey. You're going.
Yeah.
But just like you're sitting here looking at Templeton thinking you want to get to his place.
Right.
Someone like me who's brand new is looking at you thinking, I want to get to your place. So don't forget that.
No,
like,
exactly.
Appreciate where you are and appreciate the influence you're having on us up and comers.
And it's the episodes. We're on different episodes. Like you started in episode 1, so you keep going, transitioning, you're growing. Every year that passes, when you look at your KPIs or profit from the previous years and you see that you're growing and everything's going in the right direction, I mean, it's a blessing, right?
Yeah.
Of course, we'd like to move faster, quicker, and grow like right now. But it's just, it takes time.
I was having my business partner, Steve, he's like a little more like, he's like, dude, we're not doing shit. He was like feeling bad about like himself. I was like, bro, you just made $400,000 this year. Like you're in the top 1% of people your age of income. Like he's like, if I didn't stop buying rentals, I could probably already have 700 by now. He's like having all these like regrets and things. I'm like, dude, you're doing like, compare yourself to a year ago. 2 years ago.
Compare yourself to yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
4 years when you were trying to find out what cold calling system to use, you know?
Yeah. So like I feel like I do a pretty good job between like us two of like, dude, I want to do more. I'm ambitious, but at the same time, like my life's so fucking good. Like I'm so happy with my life and like
take a moment, be happy.
I mean, you could still be at Yelp being a yes man to your boss who gets yelled at and takes it out on you all day.
I try to remind myself of that, and you know, it's like every day like I wake up and I like walk around like my yard or do whatever and like just be able to like the other day you're like, yo, you want to come to like podcast on Thursday? I'm like, yeah, sure. Like because I don't have to ask anyone. There's
let me check. Yes.
And that's a powerful thing, and I think that's
freedom. You bought yourself freedom,
right? And that freedom is the most important thing. It's not the Lambo. I'm sure you'd be the first one to say it's not the Lambos, it's not the cars. It's like that shit's cool and it's like reward yourself, but it's really the freedom.
It's the freedom, yeah. I mean, you don't want to trade off your freedom for things. I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta also make smart decisions, right? So I got that Lambo, and sometimes people, oh, you don't need a Lambo. That thing is like appreciating so much right now. There's not even any Lambos available. You can't go buy a Lambo. You have to order them, and all these things are happening. Like if I sell my Lambo right now, I make money. Like I have people lined up. So it's like I have something that I love. I drive it around, and I could just get rid of it and get all my money plus some profit. Yeah. At this point, like watches, right? You can't even buy a Rolex. No,
exactly.
They don't have Rolex. Go to the Rolex store. They have. Oh, these are just for display. We don't have any.
But you earn this shit too. It's like other people, like it's probably the people that like they're making $40,000 a year, and they're like, Ramon, you shouldn't be
no windows.
You know,
with no windows or tires.
Ramon, you should be careful with your money. It's like, bro, like maybe worry about your own money. Like, you know, you see that
I
a lot.
That all the time. The moment I bought the Lambo, what did you do? I told you to invest in these stocks. Why didn't you buy Nvidia? Like my guys probably watching right now, like, oh, he's talking about me.
Don't be stupid, but do whatever the fuck you want.
It's your journey. It's your journey, right? Like,
I think most of it, by seeing it on my side, is like time. Like I think that's the one we have in common. The one thing we have in common is time.
Plus being Mexican.
I've been in the
you guys are my favorite.
My mindset
Mexicans.
was about saving. My mindset was saving. Hey, be careful with your money. Like I don't want to spend so much money on a trip when I can suffer for a year, 2 years, and then grow my income there. But hanging out with this guy, I remember we made some money. Let's say we made like $20,000, right? And I was like, cool. Now we have money for a runway to invest. Blah blah blah. He's like, let's go to China.
Let's go spend it.
Let's go to China, and then let's go to Egypt. Take my dad. Take my mom. Let's go to Cancun. And then I'm like, dude, that's all the money we have. He's like, well, what happens when we spend all the money on a trip and vacations and actual memories with our family members? He said, either I'm going to get tested to the highest of the level and see if I can bring it all back or make 3 times as much, or that means I wasn't able to, step up to the plate. So every time he like challenges us, it's like if we have money, he says, then we're in the wrong place because money's to be spent on memories And that's what we're doing. Like every year, we try to grow. We do these events.
Yeah.
Well, that's also living in a mindset of abundance, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be more money. More money is going to come to you.
It's coming. It's happening.
And it always happens. Like he pulls it off somehow because he'll invest so much on different crazy ass things. Even the house that he bought, I was like, why'd you do that? You could have bought rentals.
Not the smartest thing I've done, but
well, now that I look at it, I mean,
but now it has equity as fuck.
So maybe it was.
Yeah, I was opposed to all that, but I remember that, 3 years ago, if we would have done it my way, we wouldn't have had any memories. Like we would have gone to Cancun those 4 times with my whole family, my mom, my dad. My mom's never flown on a plane. We've taken her so many times on a plane.
That's amazing, dude. Yeah.
But he's invested heavily, not on passive income or fixer-uppers. He's invested in the memories that we all have now. Like at the end of the day, that's what's gonna matter 10 years from now. If you can look back 10 years back and say, hey, we had all these amazing memories, man. It was fun.
Feels so good.
Like that'd be great telling him, dude, it was fucking fun, man.
We did a hell of a fucking ride.
I did. I counted. I did like 11 or 12 trips last year. Like one a month. And like, dude, the way I look at it too is like, okay, let's say shit doesn't work out. Like I've been broke. Like shit wasn't that bad, dude.
I'll go back to my mom's garage.
Right. Boom. Shit wasn't that like that's really not what it's about.
You don't die. Oh, I'm moving into my mom's again.
Yeah, I'll figure it out again. But to your point, it's like your parents are only here for so much more time, and like your whole family together like that. Like you never know how much time you have. So
things change.
The fact that like you did that, I don't think you're ever gonna look back and like regret that.
I grew up watching the History Channel, so I'm like intense on the pyramids and all this crazy stuff. This guy took me to Egypt. I was like inside the Valley of the Kings, inside, and all those memories. And in my mind, I was like very frugal and cheap. I was like, I don't want to spend on nothing. But this guy forced me. So what happens is that you're actually living the life that you wanted to live. And sometimes when you start getting money, you get the fear of losing it. So I think that's the mindset of, okay, I have this money. Well, I don't want to spend it. So now your whole mentality is on saving it for some reason.
Well, I think it comes back to your upbringing. Like we used to be legal. We didn't have papers here. We didn't have a license. We were hiding. Like every time a cop would get behind me, I would almost have a heart attack as a teen. Yeah. Because it's not about me going to jail and taking my car. It's about me getting deported and being sent back to Mexico. Yeah. So we grew up in that fear that we couldn't go anywhere. We're like in a very shiny cage that we were here because we're trying to better our lives. So growing up, not being able to do anything or go anywhere, what do you think I'm going to do the moment I get a little bit of money? And I changed my status, got residency and all that. What do you think the first thing is going to do if I grew up my whole life being afraid that I was going to get kicked out or not having privileges? Of course, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to live the life that I always wanted as a young kid.
A lot of people ask, why are you always in restaurants eating all this nice food, amazing stuff? I'm like, dude, we never went to restaurants when I was.
I used to have dreams as a kid of me just eating in a restaurant. Those were my dreams. And I'll wake up, and I'm like, fuck, it was a dream. That's how fucking broke we were. Like when you dream that you're eating, and those are your dreams, like that is.
And now you've changed it, like you buying the house and stuff. But you know what? Now, like you got kids, and your kids now believe that this is the type of life that they could have, and it's like that's powerful.
Put that in their mind, and it's all seasons, right? Right now we're in the season where they're little, they're growing up, blah blah blah, memories. 2-3 years pass, they become adults, and it's over, right? Now I move into a condo.
It's so cool though. Yeah. You like driving your kids in a Lambo, like that's like the
dropping
inspiration.
Off at school,
right, dude?
but third grader being dropped off in a Lambo.
Blast that music, like Mexican music, like in front of their school, and it's like very embarrassing, but it's a memory.
And it's the season. Somebody might be in that season, somebody's in another season. We're all in different episodes. Right. We're gonna go through all the seasons, right? Right now we might be in a happy season. Later we might be in a sad season. We all go through the same season. So whatever season you're in, make the most of it. Live your life, whatever makes sense for you. It doesn't have to be the exact same way that everybody else did it, but they're making me wrap it up here. Looks like we're running out of time. Ricky, holy shit, man! It's probably one of the best podcasts we've ever done. So informative, like so much value that you dropped today, like so much inspiration just listening to what you're saying. Like even for me, I'm like, you say one thing and it just takes me in a whole other direction. So really appreciate you being here, man. Any closing remarks for? And you're going to be at our next event as well. We invited you to be on the panel as well.
Hell yeah!
Next week, Thursday. Any closing remarks before we wrap it up? And we're going to take a couple questions from our live audience.
Yeah, no, I mean, just dude, I think it's I've learned so much from you guys, and just thank you for everything that you guys have given me. I think it really is like this Phoenix real estate community. It's like one big full circle, and any of your audience that needs advice, help, anything, just like shoot me a message, and always happy to hop on a phone call, go to a seller appointment. I try to, the way you guys gave back to me, I feel like that is the path to like true wealth. It's like, how many people can I help, can I have an impact on, and it's like that's gonna help your own business in the long run too. So
appreciate that, man. So live audience guests, any questions? Should we point a camera at the live audience over there?
There you
go. Boom.
I got one for you, Ricky. And so this is actually, I was in a really similar spot when I first started my business.
Should he say it into the mic so we hear it over here in the mic? Should say into that one. There you go.
Whoa. So again, this question is more because I was relating to your story as far as your first 6 months in business.
Yeah.
My first 6 months in business, I didn't make a dime.
Oh.
And, it was really just the self-talk that got me through. But I want to hear kind of, and this is why I think might bring value to the viewers, is like, what was that? Because you had your business partner, Steve, that was helping you out, a lot of stuff, proof of concept. But what were the thought processes that you were having, leading up into that first deal?
Yeah, I think the most important aspect of that is self-belief. Like, I saw the vision. Like, I knew it already happened.
Woo!
I just hadn't like
it
put
already
in the work.
happened, baby. You can see yourself.
Like, I saw myself on like when I stepped on stage at your event. Like, I already saw that happen before I quit my job. Like, I saw all of this already happen. So I think if you like, some people don't have that, and like it's hard, dude. If you don't have that, I think it's like one of the most important aspects.
That's the hunger. You see yourself
success.
at the end.
And it sounds like you have that. So I think if you do, it's like, listen to that. That's extremely powerful. And
Believe.
I think that there's no secrets to this. It's not like our IQs are that much higher, or skill sets or anything any different. But it's that belief. It's like, hold on to that, because that gets you through the tough times.
Rodrigo's IQ is pretty high.
I'm at 124. I don't know. How about you guys?
Just a follow-up question to that, and just because it took 6 months, but kind of driving back into what you said, like, what if it took longer than 6 months in the situation?
Dude, I think like if I would have ran out of money and I had to go get another job, I don't think I would have quit. I think it was strong enough, that passion of what I wanted was big enough where I would have figured it out. So I just think you don't really lose until like you give up on it. Some people, it might take, some people I've met, like, the first month they go out and they make $100,000 on a deal, and it's pure luck, maybe.
The thing with making a lot of money early on, I've realized from experiences and people that I've known, like, I knew a guy that made $200,000 in his first month, and then he lost it all in the next 4 to 5 months trying to invest in all the marketing he could.
Right, like growing way too fast.
He lost all his money, like, because it happened too quickly. So a lot of times you don't want it to happen quickly. You want it to take its time. You want it to happen naturally. You want to stumble and then get one and barely make it and grow and grow and grow. So when that money shows up, it doesn't just leave you, right? Because it could appear and then you're not ready.
I think you don't find your niche. So what happens? You make money so fast that you weren't ready to find your niche. So you go and invest the money on things that you never worked in, and then that's where you lose all your money.
Yeah. I think it's start small, and like just know it's all part of the process, man.
Part of the game.
Like, how long it might take is
and you'll pivot. You'll pivot as long as you start making money.
Be resourceful, problem solve. Keep moving forward. Create like you showed up today, right? You're here. Like, you have a network of people that are doing what you want to do. Sounds like you're networking with other people. If you have a problem, now you have a network of people you could also call, and they have solutions for you.
Big piece of advice I will give anybody is keep your eyes open, your ears open. Don't close ideas out, because one idea will take you to a different idea, and then if you're able to capitalize on something or change the way people are doing things, you'll be making a lot of money.
And just because wholesaling might not be working initially, do something that's similar to it. Like, wholesaling wasn't working for us, but we were getting listings, and we're still sort of in the real estate game because we got our licenses. So this didn't work. We spent all our money, but we got a listing that came in, and we got paid $8-10 grand. And so, okay, let's go and try it again.
I was talking to Gabe about
Keep
that.
trying every month.
Yeah.
We were practicing with the money we were making from listings.
Yeah, Gabriel, at the meetup the other night, that's what he said. He's like, he just got his like first wholesale deal. I think that's closing, but he's closed a few listings. So it's like he's staying in the game. So just figure out how to stay in the game. If that's working for someone else, attaching, like we were talking about earlier, attaching to a bigger boat, there's nothing wrong with that. but just stay within the space. Don't just be like, the real estate thing wasn't for me, and go take the safe corporate job, at Rocket Mortgage, just doing loans or whatever. That's probably not for you, so just stay within the space, stay within the game, and just keep moving.
It'll happen. Sophia, any questions for Sophia? Live audience?
Yes.
Boom, let's go. Talking to the mic right there.
I have a question for all of you, really, not really directed towards anyone, but how do you find yourself dealing with like that imposter syndrome? And I use quotations loosely because I know that that's like a mindset thing, but it's easy to kind of get caught up in it.
Yeah.
So I'm in a form of sales.
Right.
And it can be like a really fast-paced environment where I work.
Yep.
And so how do you like kind of switch the skill set that you're used to and be okay with being patient and maybe not feeling like fully capable, but still having that determination?
I think hustlers are hustlers in any game, right? If you already know the hustle, you know how to make money, you're used to that fast-paced environment. Real estate wholesaling is very fast-paced. If somebody doesn't get to a deal quick enough, we could lose a deal like in a matter of 1 second difference that an email comes in or another. Somebody might be losing money. So if you're already used to that fast-paced industry or business, like you can use those tools for your next career, which might be wholesaling. But how do you find the patience? How do you get around people that are already doing it, and sort of like a support group, right? Hey guys, nothing's happening. How do I just stick with it? What have you tried? Talk it out. Going to these events that you're already doing. That's probably my best advice.
A big piece of advice I would give, if you're in a certain industry right now, I tell a lot of people, just tell people what you do. Like, hey, I buy houses. Like anybody that you meet, what do you do? Oh,
don't be shy.
I buy houses.
Don't be shy about telling people, hey, I'm transitioning over to investor. I got a little loan from the bank to buy a fix and flip. If anybody's got anything, hit me up.
Simple. Or all your friends, you can let them know, hey, if you're ever interested in buying one of these investment properties, I got the hookup. I can help you.
And we all go through issues, right? We all have life circumstances, things that change. You can tell your friends, hey, if anybody's ever going through a hardship where you need to sell a house quick for whatever emergency, I got you.
But
right? And they'll hit you up. They'll remember.
Also know it's part of the process that to kind of you are everyone. Like I was faking it till, like I said, I was going to the real estate disruptors meetup saying, hey, I'm Ricky, I buy houses for cash. I had never bought a house for cash.
Nor did I have cash.
Nor did I have cash. So yeah. that transition, just understand that uncomfortable, like you have to, that uncomfortable stage, just know that's like part of the process.
And his name wasn't even really Ricky.
Right.
That's it's like stage name.
Alias.
That's my stage name. So if you go through, if you're going through that, just know like, oh, that's actually that's part of this whole process. And if I continue on, I will be buying houses, but don't feel bad about it, because also like you get in a room, like we all been there. So we want to see you win. So like, don't be ashamed or feel like you're not worthy of being in rooms of people, because I'm telling you, like especially in our real estate space, everyone wants to help someone who that they sees hungry, motivated, seems like they have a good head on their shoulders, like so.
And we got a question.
I was going to touch on what Ricky said, because I'm new also.
Yep.
And I call myself a real estate investor, a flipper. I've done 2 deals and I have a JV in the works right now, so 3 deals.
Nice.
Does that qualify me as a real estate investor? Yes, it does, because I believe it does. How he was talking about mindset. I see myself at his level. He sees himself at Tim's level. And as long as you can maintain that vision and work towards it, you are it.
Oh, I love it. So we got a question. We're going to wrap it up with this question here. Ricky, how did being in Magic Mike help you become successful in wholesaling?
Who's asking that thing?
You're fucking ripped. Look at this guy. Fuck, goddamn.
Look, man. like anything else, consistent. It's all about consistency, man. Go to the gym every day. Show up.
Thunder Down Under side hustle over there in Vegas.
And
I told you it gets weird.
Thunder
in here.
from Down Under, Colin.
Oh, jeez. I don't know. Maybe if the real estate thing doesn't work out, I'll have to look
That's your plan B.
I have to look to pivot.
Cool. Anyway, man, we're gonna wrap this up. Ricky, again,
dude.
thank you so much for being here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. It was fun.
One of the best podcasts ever. So much value you brought. This thing's gonna be available out there. Remember, guys, this show is brought to you by Dispo Sharks. We don't promote Dispo Sharks that much. What do Dispo Sharks do, Rodrigo?
So for Dispo Sharks, people just send us an opportunity or an issue with the property, and then we try to help them connect with the buyer. So we have a lot of end buyers, which is the way to go nowadays, which is very tough for a lot of people who want to maximize on their deals. Let's say Ricky's like, hey man, I have this deal, but I want to see how much I can maximize on it. So we try to help a lot of wholesalers maximize on their deals.
And we don't ask to be exclusive either. Like, we don't want to take an opportunity for somebody else. We just ask to be included. Hey, you send a deal to 2, 3, 4 guys. Let us be one of those guys and let us prove our worth to you. If it works, great. If not, hey, that's fine. I mean, everybody has to eat. But at the end of the day, I mean, you know, we do value ourselves and being able to connect you with investors. For instance, a deal fell apart yesterday for that person. Yeah. And they hit us up. They're like, hey, man, this deal was supposed to close. It's coming back to me. They're losing their earnest. I need to close on this quick. Boom. We had an investor that we just helped sell his deal. We listed it for him, and he was looking for another flip, another deal. We just said, hey, man, this one just opened. If you want it, he's like, I'll take it. Sold it like in an hour. We got a testimonial from it. So all we ask, send us an opportunity. And guess what? At the same time, like, we're connecting these opportunities with other people like Ricky. Hey, Ricky, I got this opportunity in New Jersey, man. Or I got this opportunity in here and there. We always connect it with all the homies. So it's not like if you're giving it to us, nobody else gets it. We're still including a lot of the players that do business here in Arizona. So we're kind of like that quarterback mentality. So anywho, CZ, any last closing words from you? Thank you so much for being a co-host again.
It's awesome to be here. Great energy. Learned a lot from Ricky. You dropped some gems. Like, a lot of people give these glossed over, versions of answers that don't really give you a lot of value. But I appreciate
I love how she has that amazing podcast voice, right? Podcast voice for radio.
It's from working my 1-900.
Right?
1-900.
Her voice is amazing on the
Paper, 99 cents per minute.
Oh man, Ramon. Okay, Ramon, let's end it.
Anywho, all right, guys. So thanks again for tuning in. Wholesale Sharks podcast. To our live guests that came to be with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll be wrapping it up. Giving Ramon a second choke, but thank you guys again. That's a wrap.
That's how I exit my show. Ricky, you're the man.
Thank you,
bro.
guys.